Hey Kai, you mob. Just got back from footy but want to do a quick video before I go to bed, otherwise it's just going to stew in my head. Back in January there was an incident in our juvenile detention centre, Banksia Hill, in Perth, Western Australia. Over 70 of our youth, ended up being 100 and something altogether, got transferred to 2 units at a adult male prison, and which the state government declared to be a detention centre for the purpose of housing the kids there while they fixed up Banksia Hill, which 8 months later is still waiting to be repaired, for our kids to go back there, but they can build house after house, you know, in a week or two to sell off for the property market, but they can't fix up a detention centre in 8 months. You know, WA is in the midst of a mining boom. You know, richest state going, and what they can't pull out funds for the best welfare and you know, management of our children for programs and services. Nah, that's just not good enough. We're sick of the excuses. Our kids need to be put back in Banksia Hill. You know, the government should never ever have closed Rangeview Detention Centre to privatise it for private company Serco. It just didn't work. They were warned that the incident in January was going to happen by the Professor Neil Morgan, who's the Inspector of Custodial Services. Government didn't listen, they never do. They think they know what's right, and they never do. They just sit in Parliament arguing like little teenagers in a schoolyard, which as far as I'm concerned is just ridiculous. You know, supposed to be the leaders of our country and leading the states. Basically, I'm not very happy with the Corrective Services Minister, Joe Francis. He said that he expected all these youths to face charges for the incident on Thursday night where 10 cells were trashed. The Weekend West, you know, the West Australian newspaper stated that dozens of teenagers were involved, when in fact it was only about 12 teenagers that were actually involved. The Corrective Services Minister Joe Francis, in this article in yesterday's paper here, says it appears to be a case of troubled and violent prisoners acting destructively. I expect them to be charged and disciplined to the full extent of the law. I mean, what the fuck? Sorry for my swearing, but Joe Francis want to shut his bloody mouth, because these are not troubled and violent prisoners. These are kids who are being tortured. You want to know why this incident happened? Because Hakea and Banksia are torturing our kids. You know what they're doing? They got the aircon on with the boys in there with no rugs, no sheets and hard-as mattresses, and when visitors come to inspect the kids, they throwing them rugs and making everything look like it's good, like they did back in the mission days. They're torturing our kids. Now, isn't that kind of abuse go against the Convention of Genocide and Torture and Prisoners? You know, like the conventions they have in the United Nations. Like, this is wrong. There is something going on. These kids are being abused and tortured and mentally fucked up in this place. So everyone want to start getting off their asses and start doing something. And the media in WA want to start talking to the right people and put the right information about these kids in this bloody paper. Because this is just not good enough. Joe Francis, it appears to be a case of troubled and violent prisoners acting destructively. Kids do not do stuff like this because everything's okay. Kids do not act like this because there is nothing wrong. Something is bloody going on, and you want to start standing up, because if that was my son in there, I could tell you now I'd be fighting all the way. So all you mothers and fathers, instead of sitting out there, you know, doing whatever the fuck yous are doing, get off your holes and find out what's going on with your kids in there, because you got people like us fighting for these kids because we know that they're being abused and mentally stuffed up, and getting calls from upset family members who are stressing out, crying their eyes out because they're being abused and tortured. Alright? Now, I've got to have a feed. I just got back from footy and I'm tired, as I know it's a quick video, but I'm telling you right now, West Australian newspaper and all these media outlets want to start printing the right stuff, because there was not dozens of juveniles involved in the incident on Thursday night. There was 12. There was 12. And look at this. This kind of damage doesn't get done for no reason. What is going on?
That's right.
What's going on?
They're raping the children.
The kids are being abused in these prisons. The prison guards are even ringing up, right, and don't want to be identified. They are ringing up to dob on DCS, these staff and these workers, and telling stories about what's going on in there, and they're worried about these kids, and no one's listening. So I'm telling you now, get up, because our kids are being tortured and abused in here. And all you services like the Aboriginal Visitors Scheme, AVS there, the Aboriginal Legal Service, Derbyl Urigan, right, adds the Aboriginal Alcohol and Drug Service, Yorgum Aboriginal Counselling and Healing Service. Get off your asses, all yous mob, and get up and help our kids. Because on Thursday at 9:30, we're going to be at Fremantle Courthouse in Freo, and we're going to rally through Fremantle. So all yous mob that out there and reckon you care for our kids, get off your asses and you join us there. And I tell you now, all you media mob, you want to start reporting the right thing, otherwise true, these kids are going to expose what's going on as soon as they release from them walls, and I tell you now, Minister for Corrective Services Joe Francis, you want to watch your bloody mouth, mate, the way you talk about our kids, because whatever torture and abuse is going on with these kids, we're going to expose yous for it. And all yous guards who think yous are getting away with it, we're going to expose yous too, because the boys told us the riot, the incident was set up. They were let out of their cells back in January, and no one's writing about that in the media, are they? Are they? Where's the footage and the prison guards? And they want to charge 17 of our youths for that incident in January. Hey, I call on the government to charge those guards that were there on the day and release the footage, because our boys said they were let out and unlocked from those cells. So what are you trying to do to our kids? Mentally fuck their heads, because we're going to expose all of yous. And all yous mob out there, get off your asses, because these kids need us. Our boys need us to stand up for them, because they're there crying and upset and they're lost, and no one is in there caring for their welfare and their state of mind. Now I'm going before I get upset and be crying on this video. But yous all want to get off your asses and do something for our kids. And WA media, watch what you write, otherwise you might just get taken to court and sued for the wrong information you're putting out there. Right? This Marianne McKay piece, Maz, I know I'm wild, I might have sworn, but these are our kids. This kind of stuff does not happen for no fucking reason. So get off your asses and start telling the fucking truth. And Joe Francis, shut your hole, mate.